I'm going to check it on my phone here. We are unmuted, Dan.
Okay.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. My name is David Munoz with Subuenasalud, Facebook Live, and YouTube, and the Hispanic Health Initiative and the Million Lives Project. Welcome to our broadcast tonight. I have as my guest Dan Hammer. Dan, welcome to Subuenasalud Facebook and YouTube pages.
Thank you, David. Glad to be here.
Great. Well, listen, Dan, we are pretty excited about the topic we have today because it is a common topic with a lot of households. I've seen jokes going around where they have people in the house and stay at home and they're staring at the door and they're saying, how are we going to fit out of this door? Because they've grown, they've gained so much weight, they can barely squeeze out the door.
Guess I'll have to
And,
go through the garage door.
yeah, that's right. They're going to go through the garage door if they get through the kitchen door to the garage somehow. But it is something that a lot of people are concerned about in this COVID environment because when you're at home, you tend to, the refrigerator is right there and you're there constantly. And a lot of people are, buying a lot of groceries, especially at the initial stages, and they've got to eat it. So it is a challenge. But just what I wanted to do is share with the audience a video that you prepared, Dan, called The New Secret to Weight Loss. I looked at it again and I was just amazed about the concepts of the new secret because as you will share, there is an old secret and there's a new secret to weight loss, and a lot of people haven't heard about it. So it won't be taking too long. That will take maybe 15 minutes to share this, but certainly
Okay.
those at home or listening live, please take some notes or call your friends and have them join in. So let's get started, Dan. The weight loss has been a serious problem with a lot of health issues going on. As you can see, a lot of people just have a vision of how their body should look, yet they're probably occupying a body that's not the exact shape they want it to be in. Share with us, Dan, what inspired you to prepare this video regarding the need to have the new secret of weight loss?
Well, my background's exercise physiology, and I used to practice the old secret with people that came to my health club. And although people have temporary success, they don't have long-term success because they continue to go back to the same patterns. And those patterns end up, for a lot of people, ending up being like the picture you've got of the gentleman sitting on the park bench. They're overweight or they're obese. If you just, and next time you're outside, just look at the people, and I bet you if you counted 10 people, only 2 or 3 of them would be on the lean side. Everyone else would most likely be overweight or obese, and with that comes all the other health issues that are rampant in our society: type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, arthritic conditions, just so many different things that happen to people as they keep packing on the weight.
That's so true, Dan, and I see it very prevalent among the Hispanic communities too, because we have a diet that's pretty rich in vegetable oils and a lot of meats and fatty stuff, and that's a challenge. And of course, we have other health ideas that we share with the Hispanic community, but this is something that probably a lot of people that may not be at the point where they have heart disease, diabetes, and want to protect themselves should know about. So then the next slide we have is talks a little bit about the old secret to weight loss. And then, of course, we're going to go on to the new secret. Tell us a little bit about this slide regarding the old secret. What is that about?
Well, basically, the old secret is watching calories. And so you're either going to, your calories that come in through the foods that you eat or drink, and then the calories out would be either exercising to burn calories, or if you're going to effectively lose weight, you're going to have to reduce the amount of calories that you take in, which means that you've got to begin to cut out foods or begin to portion control or begin to do other things to reduce the caloric intake. So if my caloric intake of calories in is equal to my caloric expenditure calories out, I'm not going to see any change on the scale. If
Right.
my caloric intake is higher, like it is for a lot of people during the COVID-19, because they can't get out, they don't do the level of exercise that they did before. So now the caloric intake is higher, the calories that they expend are less. That's why they're gaining weight, because they're taking in more calories than what they're actually burning up. So if you want to lose weight, then if your caloric intake is the same because you can't get out and exercise, or you don't want to exercise, then you've got to reduce the caloric intake if you're going to want to see any kind of weight loss come off.
And I know that in your background, Dan, you did manage health clubs, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you saw people in and out struggling just to keep weight. And you probably saw some experiences where they've actually done just that. The caloric intake was initially less, and they were probably successful, but then they had challenges as time went on.
Yeah, or for example, a person would spend 30 minutes to 40 minutes working out and maybe burn 250 to 300 calories, and then they go out and they have even just something just as simple as a yolk plate yogurt, which would be 230 calories. I mean, you spend 30 to 40 minutes to try and burn up 250 calories, and then in less than 5 minutes you eat something that puts 250 calories back onto you.
I heard that in the video. And again, those that are joining us, we are talking with Dan Hammer. He created a video called the new concept, or the new secret to weight loss. And if you're interested in watching that video towards the end of the this live stream program, we'll have the link to that video in our comments. So Dan, what you just mentioned about the frustration of individuals who succeed in losing weight and then possibly go out and have some fries, and then they've actually done themselves a disfavor with all the exercise they did in
Mm-hmm.
burning up the calories. They gained it right back.
Yeah, and then as you got on the screen of that, it requires sacrifice. So people can usually do that for short term, but from a long term standpoint, people won't continue that sacrifice because they don't have the discipline to do it, and they return back to their same old habits that they did before because they didn't change what they were eating. All they did was reduce the amount that they were eating, and their weight loss becomes temporary because most people then gain back the weight. Plus, if they're not exercising, they most likely lost some muscle tissue, which lowered their metabolism. So not only do they gain the weight back, but they usually gain more weight back than what they lost.
Right, and you know that not only can have some physical damage to them, but it's also psychological. A lot of
Mhm.
people I know get depressed because they just can't manage to keep it off.
Or
So
what happens, David, is they give up because they feel that they don't have the willpower to make the changes because they're unsuccessful. So they just accept being overweight, accept
yeah,
the lifestyle that they're in, and they don't understand it's not their lack of willpower, it's what they need to do to learn the new secret to weight loss.
right, and we're going to get into the new secret now, Dan, with this slide. They say it's only been in the last couple of years, as you say in your slide, we began to understand the new secret of weight loss. And what we're doing as part of the health and wellness group that we're in, the Million Lives Project, is helping our clients discover the secret and, of course, see better results in their outcome. So the video will help understand the difference between the old ways and the new ways, as you see. And the next few slides are really important. So please, those that are listening, watch this closely because these slides are really, really important. Uh, Dan, explain this particular slides about bacteroidetes. It's a new word I learned.
Sure. So what I like about the slide that you've got there, David, is if you look at the pictures, you've got one on the left and one on the right. I want to focus on the one on the right, where you have one hand holding the typical American diet, which is fast food, pizza, hamburgers, fries, a lot of processed foods, a lot of fatty foods, a lot of carbohydrate based foods. Whereas the person on the right hand side picture holding all the different types of vegetables and fruits, which are a plant based program. So you've got a basically the hand on the left as you're facing it is refined foods, carbohydrates, usually washed down with some type of soda and an animal protein versus a plant-based program. And the reason why this is important is you've talked about the word bacteroidetes. If you want to flip to the next slide, this is where it really came into discovery. Now, there's a famous study called the twin study. They had identical twins.
Right.
And as identical twins, your genetic makeup is the same. But one twin was overweight and the other twin was lean. So, what's the difference if their genetic makeup is the same? Why the difference? So, what they did is they took the microbiome, the bacteria in the overweight twin, and they put it into host mice so that the host mice then had that microbiome for their digestive process. They did the same thing for the lean twin. They took the microbiome from the lean twin, put it into host mice so that the host mice then had that microbiome. They gave it the same the mice the same exercise, the same food sourcing, same amount of food, but what they found was that the mice that had the microbiome from the overweight twin gained weight, and the mice that had the microbiome from the lean twin stayed lean.
Hmm.
So that led them to discovering that it's the microbiome that makes the difference. That the microbiome of the overweight twin was dominated by a class of bacteria called Firmicutes, whereas the abdominal cavity, the microbiome of the lean twin, was dominated by a classification called Bacteroidetes. And it's this balance between these two that really impact weight. And this is this balance is affected by the food that you eat. So when a person says I don't have the willpower and they're overweight, it's because their abdominal cavity is dominated by Firmicutes, and the Firmicutes want certain types of foods, carbohydrate based foods, animal protein based foods, uh, foods that have a lot of sugar content, because that's what they like to feed off of. Well, when they feed off of that stuff, it creates a great deal of toxins in your system. And then those toxins begin to erode the lining of your small intestine, creating what they call a leaky gut. Then those toxins get into your bloodstream. The bloodstream carries those toxins around your body, causing inflammation. And the way that your body then handles that inflammation is it begins to store those toxins in fat. Well, if you keep the same process because you're dominated by Firmicutes, which then is causing you to eat these things that you feel you don't have the willpower to stop, and then you keep producing all these toxins easily getting into your bloodstream, well, your body's got to protect itself, so it continues to add these toxins to fat cells, and your fat cells get larger and larger and larger because it's got more and more toxins it's got to store.
Well, if I could just ask a question, Dan, for those that are listening, and maybe a lot of this might be a little bit over their heads, like it is sometimes for me. If I would put it in layman's terms, Dan, if I have a habit of eating more foods that are heavy with Firmicutes, like the hamburgers and the pizzas, that will create a higher level of Firmicutes types of bacteria in my body, which will give me an urge for that.
Correct. So let's make this as simple as possible. There's the bad bacteria and there's the good bacteria. And the bad bacteria want what they want for food, not what you want for food, what they want for food.
So is that where the urge comes in then?
Exactly. Okay. They dominate, so they control. They're the ones that tell you the food that they want. This is a fascinating area because there's a direct connection between your gut and your brain. And so you're influenced by your microbiome, the gut bacteria, and they want what they want. And if you don't begin to change this process, then when they're hungry, they're going to give you that craving. You're going to tend towards eating the foods that are going to satisfy them, which are foods that are high in carbohydrates, animal protein, sugar, and they're just going to continue to cause this problem until you learn how to change this.
Okay, so the opposite is true, and the opposite effect, right, Dan? If we have a habit of trying to offset or offset the balance of scales, if I could say it in basic terms, and increase to bacteroides types of diets, it would also then lessen the urge for the other foods that are Firmicutes.
Sure. So when you change to the good bacteria, then the good bacteria are going to want more plant-based foods because that's what they thrive on is plant-based foods. And so when you choose plant-based foods, first off, the caloric intake of plant-based foods are extremely less than the other foods, carbohydrate-based. So you're going to end up taking in less calories. You're going to find that you're much more satisfied. You're going to find that you have much more energy because when the Firmicutes or the good bacteria break that plant-based nutrition down, they do it much more efficiently. So you get more energy, less toxins, gut health is better, you feel better, you have more energy. What do you do when you have more energy? I want to do something. I don't want to sit around. So you start getting active, which then also burns calories. And now you've got the best of the old secret to weight loss, less caloric intake, more activity, burning more calories. And now you begin to see the fat come off your frame and you stay lean and you get less fat.
So the people that are hearing this video or this presentation are saying, okay, I get it. My gut, my bacteria that I have may be on the negative side, and I need to offset it. Do I need to eat that handful of broccoli and all that lettuce and all that stuff, or is there a way, Dan, that we can suggest those that are listening to this presentation a way that they can take a shortcut and offset and start making a more positive change?
Sure. So yes, they can try and do it just by changing the food that they're eating. There's going to be a battle because the Firmicutes or bad bacteria don't want to give up their lifestyle,
Right.
So there's going to be, it becomes a much harder changeover initially, or you can speed the process. And in speeding the process, do certain things that will help quickly reset your gut health so that the good bacteria dominate over the bad bacteria.
Okay, so they can either, like you say, change the diet and make the transition, which I know it's difficult because they will always have those urges if we have been in the habit of eating quote unquote junk food, or we could enter a process to do it. So in our experience, Dan, the best and shortest, if I could call it a shortcut or a method that would be sensible to start off, we would probably go with the products that you see here on the screen. Would you explain a little bit about these products, Dan?
Sure. So the Biome Core Kit has 3 products in it, and those 3 products are all designed to begin to rapidly recolonize the gut microbiome by using the food sourcing that the good bacteria want, and you begin to eliminate or reduce the amount of the food sourcing that comes from the bad bacteria. So you've got 3 products. The first one, which I think is the most important one, is called the Biome Shake. It is a pea protein shake. So it's hypoallergenic, it's gluten-free, there's no sugar in it. Yet if you make this shake the right way, it is one of the most delicious tasting shakes around. It gives you great energy for a long period of time, so you're not hungry, and you use it as a meal replacement. Now, the average cost for a meal is about $5. And if you're replacing one meal, and this gives you 30 meals, those 2 canisters of the Biome Shake gives you 30 meals, there's $150 that you would save from the food that you were eating that you can put in towards your program. So that when you see where it says cost neutral or affordable, basically you've covered 3/4 of the cost of this program just by replacing a meal with the Biome Shake. So for most people, it's cost neutral or very affordable. Now, the Biome DTX is a patent pending product designed to do a lot of different things. First off, it's designed to help you heal a leaky gut with the proper ingredients necessary to begin to restore the integrity of the small lining of the small intestine. It has other ingredients in it that are designed to nourish the good bacteria. It has other ingredients in it designed to take toxins out of your system.
Wow.
So it's a complex product that works really well, and again, helping to quickly recolonize and repair the small intestine. And then the last product is called the Biome Actives, which is a combination of what they call a prebiotic and a probiotic. A lot of people are familiar with probiotics. Well, this uses a very specific one, just one of them. It's a spore forming one. Most people don't use spore forms because they can be dangerous, but in this case, it's extremely safe. And as a spore, it's protected through the stomach acids. And then when it gets into the small intestine, because it's combined with a prebiotic called inulin, the spore germinates, has an immediate food source, so it can quickly colonize the small intestine with the good bacteria that you want. So this program, these 3 products, are specifically designed to help you to quickly recolonize the small intestine with the good bacteria, help to eliminate the bad bacteria, reduce toxins, begin the process of repairing a leaky gut. And a lot of people will do this for a 30-day program. And then once they're done with their 30-day program, because they feel so good, they typically have lost weight, fat, they've seen inches come off their frame, they want to continue. If they continue, they typically continue with the Biome Shake because they've learned how to make a great tasting shake that gives them great energy, no bloating, and they're not hungry for a long period of time. So they just continue with the Biome Shake, and they've learned some other things along the way in terms of foods that they should be eating. And now those foods actually taste good. They actually look forward to eating those foods. And then they can continue that lifestyle process because now the bacteria that dominate their microbiome is also reinforcing their food choices.
So Dan, when people start on this program, obviously I know that Synergy Worldwide distributes and it's manufactured in Nature Sunshine's labs. This particular combination of products does come with instructions, and you say it's a meal replacement, meaning they can replace one meal a day.
Correct.
They don't have to replace all 3 meals.
No, we wouldn't want to do that. We want to learn how to eat.
Okay, so then it's a 30-day program, so it's really 30 meals that they'll replace in a month. And if those listening to this live stream are interested, at the end of the stream, we'll have in the comments area also a link where you can find out more information about how to order this this excellent program of the Biome program, the Biome Core Kit.
Yeah, David, if you have anyone that goes on this, again, in the resourcing for our Synergy family, you can find the Biome Core Kit manual, which is something that I put together that is extremely beneficial for people who go through this program, because it also teaches them other things that they can do from a food standpoint to, again, speed the process of switching from the bad bacteria to the good bacteria, which will then help them get fat off their frame.
So if anyone's interested, you can inbox me. We can get you in your hands that manual that Dan prepared about working with the Biome Core Kit and the program to make a difference in your life or the life of someone you love in the next 30 days, and just look better, feel better, and just discover that new secret to weight loss. Dan, thank you so much for joining us. We're a little bit over, but I appreciate your time, your information, and sharing this great valuable video that you put out with the individuals that are listening. Keep in mind that at the end there are links to the video. If you wish to see the video that Dan prepared, the new secret to weight loss, there's a link to order the Core Kit, and of course another additional video that I attached that it was created by Synergy Worldwide for the public in general. So Dan, thank you so much again for joining me at the Subuenasalud page.
You're welcome, David.